Margaret had cleaned a lot of houses in her 30 years as a housekeeper, but the Whitmore estate was different. At 62, she thought she'd seen everything, but she was wrong. Her first day, she noticed the girl right away. Emma Whitmore, maybe 7 or 8 years old, with soft brown hair and the most beautiful eyes Margaret had ever seen. Eyes that seemed to look right through the noise of the world into something deeper. Emma sat in the corner of the vast living room, carefully arranging her toy horses in perfect rows. Over and over. The pattern mattered to her in a way that others couldn't quite understand. What struck Margaret most wasn't Emma. It was how the others moved around her, like water around a stone. The business associates who came for meetings, the party planners preparing for events, even some of the staff. They saw her, surely, but they looked away. David Whitmore, the CEO, worked long hours. Margaret could see the weariness in his eyes when he came home, the weight he carried. A widower raising a daughter who experienced the world differently. Some days, Margaret watched him stand in Emma's doorway just watching her play, and she could feel his love, mixed with a loneliness that broke her heart. One Thursday afternoon, Margaret was polishing the dining room table when she heard it. A melody. Soft and wandering like a bird trying to find its song. Emma stood nearby, humming to herself, swaying slightly. Margaret set down her cloth. She'd raised 3 children of her own. She'd learned long ago that love speaks in many languages, and sometimes you just need to listen. "That's a pretty sound," Margaret said gently. Emma's humming stopped. Those deep eyes met Margaret's. "Would you like to dance with me?" Margaret asked, extending her hand. For a long moment, nothing. Then, slowly, Emma placed her small hand in Margaret's weathered one. Margaret began to hum the tune Emma had been singing. Slowly, they moved together. Not a proper dance, really, just swaying, turning gently. Margaret followed Emma's rhythm, not the other way around. And something extraordinary happened. Emma smiled. They danced like that for maybe 3 minutes, maybe an eternity. When they finished, Emma didn't let go of Margaret's hand right away. That evening, David came home to find them in the kitchen. Emma was helping Margaret fold napkins, placing each one just so. Emma, who usually preferred solitude during busy times. "Mr. Whitmore," Margaret said, seeing his surprise, "your daughter taught me a dance today." David's eyes filled with something Margaret recognized. Relief, gratitude, hope. "She doesn't usually," he began, then stopped. "Thank you." "No need," Margaret said. She just needed someone to dance at her pace. From that day forward, something shifted in the Whitmore house. Margaret made it her mission to see Emma, truly see her, and gradually others began to notice too. The way Emma's face lit up when she completed her patterns, the gentle wisdom in her different way of being. David started coming home earlier. Not every day, but more. He'd sit with Emma and her horses, learning the language of her world. One evening, months later, Margaret was leaving for the day when David stopped her. "Margaret," he said quietly, "before you came, I felt like I was failing her. Everyone treated Emma like a problem to work around. You treated her like a person to know." Margaret smiled. "Mr. Whitmore, I'm 62 years old. I've learned that the world moves too fast sometimes. Your Emma, she knows how to move at exactly the right speed. The speed of kindness, the speed of joy. We're the ones who needed to learn her dance." She patted his arm. "And you're learning it beautifully." As Margaret walked to her car, she could see them through the window. Father and daughter swaying together to a melody only they could hear. Sometimes kindness isn't loud. Sometimes it's just slowing down enough to see someone who's been there all along. And sometimes that changes everything.